This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
David Emery wants to know, can you explain why Randy Orton is the wrestler's wrestler? I don't get it. What am I missing?
Now, who has said he's the wrestler's wrestler?
Well,
The fans?
I think you recently had put him over on one of our shows and were very complimentary of his work. But then again, almost all of the old school guys are a big fan of Randy Orton. You disagree?
No. I just said, I think the quote was at the time is when he's on, when Randy's healthy and he has a guy that can perform and he's a heel, when he's a heel and allowed to get heat, he's the best heel in the business. And I believe that. Randy works old school. Randy doesn't do a 1.5 off the top. He doesn't dive out on the floor. He doesn't do any of those things. What Randy does is come in, give you some attitude, tries to lean and force his will upon you, which doesn't work. And then eventually he'll do something rotten to get a guy down and he will stomp his brains out. And once Randy starts getting heat, you feel that. It's old school, straightforward, beat down. But he's just so smooth in the ring, and his attacks, like that RKO out of nowhere, no matter how much heat he may have had during the course of that match, when he hits that RKO, especially with a guy coming off the top or something that you don't see, you get a babyface pop because they're cheering. Not necessarily was that a good guy or a bad guy. It was just, hey, you got me. I didn't see that coming. And it was done excellent. That's what Randy brings to the table. And he just has that look, man. He just looks like a guy that would reach over and bite your nose off. And he's an excellent heel. Now, when he gets forced into a babyface role and trying to work babyface, Randy will tell you he's not as comfortable. I agree with him. He's a much better heel.
Drew Landry writes, there was a table for 3 episode that included you, Flair, Tully, and an empty chair. In the episode, Arn, you said the empty should be J.J. Dillon's seat. Why not reserve that chair for Ole?
Well, because J.J. was there through all of it. I've stated on record I've learned more from Ole Anderson and tag matches than anybody. And he taught me about being believable and credible and vicious and making a guy work for everything he gets on you. And I was a big fan of Ole. Scared to death of Ole, intimidated by Ole. And then I became his partner and I was still intimidated. To this day, if he was sitting here across from me, I would be intimidated because that's who he is. He's an intimidating character, personality. J.J. Dillon was one of those guys that was with us from the beginning. And for those 3 years with Crockett, man, he was the fourth horseman. And then if we had another guy that stepped into that role, fine. But J.J. was clearly a real voice of reason. A lot of nights Tully would be pissed and bitching at J.J. and J.J. could calm him down. And I just think that J.J. he was so smart, and a lot of the things that he would offer match-wise, and he had input. J.J. would organize our travel. He would, say, okay, we're going to stay here tonight or there tonight, or you want to drive tonight, and all those things. He did the real stuff that a manager really does sometimes, but mostly it was bell to bell. You could count on J.J. to be right there where he needed to be, pull that damn loafer off and swat somebody or whatever we needed out of him. He was always there. He was a teammate, and I will always credit him as having a solid slot with the Four Horsemen as much as anybody. And that's just my opinion. And I was there for virtually every rendition of the Horsemen with maybe one. And JJ was a constant, and he was damn good, and he could speak well. He was articulate. He looked the part. He sounded the part, and he was an experienced, quality talent.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money, it's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.